Monique. How are you?
I'm great, Paul. Very, very good. Very good. I'm not in BC this time around. I'm doing the show personally from the center province of Canada in Manitoba.
Yeah.
Now that it's opened up a little bit here in Canada, we can fly, to see our families. And I'm here at my mom's house, so it's a real pleasure.
Brilliant.
I haven't seen her in a year and a half, and it's just wonderful.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
So we're live, Monique, already. And guys, here we go. Hi, Carol. Here comes everyone. Hi, Emma. It's nice to see you guys. Good. We're live, Monique. I always kind of panic in case we don't go live and there's a problem on Facebook. But good. We got people coming in the stream, so that's really good.
Good. I can't see the screen from my iPad, so.
So you're actually working from your iPad tonight rather than
my iPad instead of my computer. Yeah.
So how's that going to affect your working tonight?
Yes, I don't have the technology that I normally do to do shared screen option with our StreamYard software.
Yeah.
So I am actually going to do spirit art in the traditional way. So I've got literally a big easel in front on the other side of this iPad. And as I listen to Paul and his mediumship, we'll take part linking with spirit as we normally do.
Yeah.
But I will reverse the camera so it's shooting the big easel with the pad in front of me here, and we're going to try to do spirit art that way along with mediumship.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so we'll give this. We've done it once already with Instagram, Paul, and it went well, I thought. So
it did. It really did. Yeah, we did it. Hi, Shirley. Oh, people are coming on thick and fast now.
Good.
Hi, Tina and Jackie. Hi, guys. Hi, Paul and Carol again. We've got a new moderator. We should say so. I just want to introduce. I'm not going to bring her on stream because she'd be totally embarrassed. So we've got a new moderator in the back, keeping away all the spammers. So I want to introduce Kaylee. I would flash her up on screen, but she'd probably have a hissy fit at me. She's a little bit shy. So welcome to the Spiritual Talk, Kaylee, and thank you for moderating in the back room there. It's brilliant.
Thank you so much, Kaylee.
Yeah. Let's talk about our guest tonight, Monique. So we've got a fabulous guest tonight, haven't we?
Yeah, we sure do.
Yeah, we've got a wonderful. Oh, I thought he was going to introduce him.
Oh, me? Oh.
Sorry, it didn't work at all, did it? We should get a trumpet or a drum roll. Yeah, we've got the wonderful. I'll do it this time. Trevor Baldwin. Trevor Baldwin. Now, Trevor's associated with the Spiritual Talk, or the Spirited podcast, not the Spiritual Talk, and it's a play on words tonight. So Trevor does the Spirited Talk podcasts, and we do the Spiritual Talk, lives. So it's going to be a bit confusing tonight, but all will be revealed. It is a pre-record tonight, guys. And so bear with us. It's about a 45-minute interview, but it is good fun. And Trevor is very educational and offers a really good service with his podcasts.
Yes.
So shall we get him in now? Shall
Absolutely.
We start?
Yes.
Let's get him in, start the video. So guys, we'll be back in 45 minutes?
I think so. That's how long the pre-record. Yeah.
So guys, keep liking and sharing the stream. And there's also an opportunity to win and also subscribe to our YouTube channels now. But there's also a chance to win a free reading. I believe it's my turn this week, Monique, isn't it?
It is indeed. Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. So keep liking and sharing, guys. And we will start with introduce Trevor. Now I'm just going to add this to the stream. So we'll go off in the background, but we'll still be here. And we'll see you guys straight after this stream.
And welcome along to another Spirited Talk. My name is Trevor, your host. And what's the matter? What?
This isn't Spirited Talk. This is Spiritual Talk. Right there. You see that? Spiritual Talk.
I'm very sorry. I've got it all wrong. It's programmed into me. Well, hello. Well, my name's Trevor. Who are you?
Well, first of all, Trevor, we should introduce you properly. Thank you very much for agreeing to come on the Spiritual Talk. We are literally honoured for you to be here today because you do such a great job with your Spirited Talk podcasts. But we don't just want to interview you because we know talk about the spiritual talk, a spirited talk. That's going to be a play on words today. We want to know more about you as well as a person. We know you've been doing mediumship for over 20 years, and you're a medium within your own right. So we kind of wanted to get to know you a bit more and talk about your personal journey into mediumship, and we'll come back to the spirited talk because it's such a wonderful thing that you've created with the podcast. It's brilliant.
Thank you.
So welcome, that's what I want to say. Welcome to this. Hang on a sec. Drum rolls. Spiritual Talk Live. It's so confusing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's annoying. You stole my name.
I did, and you know, when Anthony and I first started a spiritual talk, we honestly didn't know you guys were out there, and we would have changed it completely. But yeah. to be fair, I love the idea that we're very similar in our kind of mission statement. So it's fantastic, educating people.
Absolutely, nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. So yeah, can you tell us a bit more about you, though, Trevor? How did you become a medium? You know, what's your motivation into doing what you do as well?
Well, I'm going to be very cautious, I think, Paul and Monique. Hello, Monique, by the way. Hello. I'm going to be a little bit cautious in what I say to you because obviously Spirited Talk is season 3 begins soon. And the first 3 half-hour episodes are actually my story recorded by Adam Berry. Well, interviewed by Adam Berry. So I don't want to tell you too much because that's taken away. However, there's a lot of stuff that Adam doesn't know, and I'm happy to share that with you. And I can just go over just to correct you slightly on what you said at the very beginning. You said I've been a medium for over 20 years. Like a lot of people, probably the first 5 years, I wasn't a medium. I was a skeptic, a researcher looking into this. And it was only one day, probably actually 3 or 4 years into this journey that we call it, that I suddenly realized I could do this. And then maybe a few years later, I was proud enough to call myself a medium. And it takes time. It really does. So, yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a process, isn't it? It's not something that just happens overnight. Oh, I'm a medium and I've arrived. It's almost like you have to kind of find that self-belief.
Absolutely. So that's basically it. There's an absolute incredible story that happened to me at the beginning of the turn of the century, as I say. It makes me sound ancient, but in the year 2000 was when everything tumbled together, literally fell together. I can't share that with you now because that is one of the main parts. But after that, things changed. And what I can share is it was at the time we had, as you know, on the screens of TV, we had some of the modern day pioneers. I'd like to call them that because I believe they were people like Tony Stotwell, the late Colin Fry and the late Derek Akora were on our screens in the UK for sure, and they were influencers. For me, they were making me think. To be honest, as I always say, they were making me think this is nonsense. Don't be stupid. You can't talk to dead people. Nobody can, and it was the fact that John Edward, the American medium, he was so convincing and so good looking, and he had these ladies in the audience that loved him. And I thought, is he fake? Is he real? Can this really be real? Can you really talk to dead people? And it was actually one key line that he said at the end of one of his Crossing Over shows that changed my path. And if you remember, when the credits used to roll at the end of a Crossing Over, he would ask the audience questions. And as the credits were going, and he said, anybody got any questions? And a lady in the audience said, do you have to be born with a gift to become a medium? Now, you imagine me, I'm down in Bournemouth living at that time. I suddenly my ears prick up because I'm still researching this idea. I step to the edge of my seat and I turn the volume up quickly. I need to hear what he replies to. And now I'm thinking in my head, Colin, John has a great cop out here now. We can say, oh no, I was born gifted. You can't do this, you mere mortal. I thought he'd say something like that. And well, believe it or not, the mediums that will try and tell you that. Anyway, he didn't. He looked at the lady, he smiled, he said, I'm no different than you. I was born with the same qualities and same gifts as you. Anybody can be a medium if you're prepared to put the time and the effort into it.
Yeah.
That was like a light bulb, because I know this is me saying it, but I think I had failed in life up until that point. I think I hadn't achieved anything. Now, I'd already been researching this for a few weeks now. I had lots more evidence to say it was real than unreal.
Yeah.
And the idea of John Edward, the great John Edward, saying anybody can be a medium, I rose to that challenge. I thought, really? Well, I'll give it a go until I fail. And unfortunately, you know, as you both know, the longer you spend around this, the more it gets in your blood. The handcuffs get tighter on you. You just can't escape it. It becomes part of you. So that's it, basically, Paul.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, I do remember those times, and I do remember Derek Okora, Colin Fry. There was some great times, and Tony Stockwell on our TV. That's not so well, it's just not so much now. It seems to have kind of fallen out of love a little bit with the public, which is a shame. But yeah, absolutely, I totally agree with what you said. That it is what Jonathan said. That it is about putting the time and effort in, and unfortunately, today we don't have those home circles, and it's a subject that's come up from time to time, and I think we mentioned it before we came on this record today, that the world is changing, and it's trying to find people that are prepared to take the time to study and kind of go forward with that. Is there anything you would do differently now in terms of your mediumship? What would you do differently in your preparation, in your learning? You know, could you save yourself some time? Is there something or advice you can give someone?
Well, I guess hindsight, we can all be smart using that as our tool, but yeah, there's hundreds of thousands of things, Paul, that I could have done different. I know that. I know how I could have shortened that now, but I'm not sure that I needed to or I want to. I think some of the things that were taught me that were wrong probably held me up for a while until I learned that they were untruths. You know, my first one or two circle leaders weren't exactly, you know, in tune themselves. And some of the nonsense they spoke to me, I was naive, wanting to learn, and I genuinely believed all of this stuff. And it's very hard to then hear somebody else say it's nonsense.
Yeah.
But when you prove it yourself, you then think, oh dear. So
Yeah.
I guess if we could do the unlearning, take all the unlearning out, we'd save some time. But this is interesting, Paul, because this is where it connects with the podcast now. Listen, I've say this to my some of the audience, and it's kind of hard to get this message across. But I started this journey 20 years ago. There weren't such things as podcasts. There wasn't social media. There wasn't this online encyclopedia, this online library of stuff that's available that there is nowadays. And if I could have had this podcast or this style of podcast back 20 years ago, I kind of think I would have saved a lot of time. But it has to be the podcast has to be based on our visions and the ones I'm operating now, that, you know, that it has to be truth, has to come from education, has to come from the right source. That available 20 years ago, I reckon I could cut 5 or 10 years off the time it's took to get here. That's the truth. So,
yeah, and that leads us lovely into Spirited Talk, really, what you've created, because it's a wonderful thing. And I will come back to your philosophy on mediumship and some of the ideas, because I kind of want to know your opinion, because you have this. It's almost like what you do with a Spirited Talk. It's like a service, and I've got to be honest. I've listened to quite a few of your podcasts, and they are fantastic. And one in particular was something you said. You was being interviewed, and it was only a short clip, and this was on YouTube. And there's something you said on there about the responsibility and about getting the right information out there. That make the hairs on the back of my neck tingle. I've got to be honest, because that is a wonderful thing. And the problem with, like you were saying about some of the early mediums you came across in groups, was that misinformation. You're trying to educate by, okay, we can all have our own opinions in mediumship, and if it feels right, then fine. If it doesn't, then let it go. But for me, what I love about the podcast is it's so informative, it's so educational, and the caliber of the guest is also fantastic. It's fantastic. So I kind of want to say thank you for that, for bringing that to the public attention.
Well, that's certainly high praise. Thank you.
Yeah, well, it was kind of our motivation as well, in a funny sort of way. I know we do messages on our live, but it kind of gets people's interest, and this is why we're here doing the interviews as well, which are not always as popular. But I kind of think if people understood the process of mediumship and we could all be empowered and have spirit touch our hearts, I think so many more people will be open to connect, whether that's to become a medium or just to inspire them in their life. Because it's not just mediumship out there, Trevor, is there? There's so much more. So much more.
Yeah, I think we have a role wherever we can to give back what we've learned ourselves, as long as it's accurate. And I believe that there are a lot of people, I've certainly come across a lot of people that are just off on their journey now. They're sort of wandering around looking for the right advice. And you know what? If you leave them in that storm, if you leave them in those conditions, they'll likely latch up with somebody that you think, oh, that's not going to teach them very much in this, that, and ever. Now, it doesn't matter. If they're strong enough, they'll get through it. But I kind of wish they wouldn't. I wish I could point them straight away into the right area and to the right advice. So yeah, I'm with you on that. And
maybe this is the future. You talk about not having the home circles. When you think about the Leslie Flints and that has had this network of home circles out there, and people not given the time, this information is there as well. It's a service. It's fantastic, and it's given that rather than spending time in a local circle. This information is top notch, and it's there. It's available to everybody, which is fantastic. I just hope that it inspires people to get more involved with spirit, or even have that inner kind of conversation with themselves, that inner awakening. You know, it is a fantastic thing.
I think it does. And I think it does. That didn't come initially right from the first episode. It came through trial and error, trying to find what worked, what didn't work, and getting yourself known. Because bearing in mind that I wasn't really a known medium out there. I did occasional circuits and it was very low, because I like my own life. I like being at home. I'm not really one for going out. So I wasn't a name. So there's a challenge, as Monique will know, that, how you're going to front a show if nobody knows you. So there was that challenge that I had to get through. But then there was this challenge that I had to have a vision and stick with it. I had to have a system that I knew would work and stick with it. Don't change, don't deviate. Do exactly what is right every time, all the time. Choose your guests carefully. If they fit right with me, there's a good chance they fit right with everybody else. Now, it doesn't mean I'm an oracle. It doesn't mean that I'm the end all and be all, because I'm not. But I kind of know if they sit right with me, the guests, then I'm happy to move them on. And to interview them. And I've had one or two guests that have been guests only, have not made it through to the podcast stage. Now, that kind of, in a way, should tell you something. You should think, why did that person never do a podcast with Trevor? And now you know the answer. I'm not sure that I'm ready to put them in the status of actually teaching yet. So that's not always the case, but a majority of cases where you hear a guest and there's no podcast to follow, then it's perhaps because I'm not sure that I can put them in that position and waste time and effort if they're not capable of doing it, or not so much capable, if I have some holes in their education that I'm worried about. I know that's slightly egotistical, Paul, but it's because...
But I kind of want to say you're talking from a voice of experience. So it's not like you were someone who's only had 5 years. You've had a lot of wealth of experience, and you've got to trust that. And you've created this. And I think for me, I know with the spiritual talk, spirit have certainly helped me to create this. I'm not sure where it's going, but it has been very much about education and information, and bringing people like yourself into the public attention to kind of, like I say, to educate. I keep repeating that word, educate, but I think that's the crux of the matter, isn't it? That's the real purpose.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've always said that if you're on a spiritual journey, you have to think of yourself like a piece of fruit. I mean, if you're green, then we know that you're growing. But if you suddenly start being ripe, red, that means you're starting to rot. You have to be learning all the time. And Paul, I know you'll understand this. There are so many mediums that have arrived, and I get upset. I feel sorry about it. I think, really, you think you've arrived, 40 odd, and you're just eking out an earning from this. You're going out and doing a few circuits in this. What a shame you're not in the cabinet. What a shame you're not sitting with spirit. What a shame you're not developing yourself even further. So I sound like an old man there, don't I?
Well, don't worry about it. It's no. But can I just say, I've got to say this. I've got microphone envy.
Really?
Yours looks really good, mate. I've got to say, I think I need to go back onto Amazon. And also, which I did notice when I was listening to the podcasts, your voice. Monica, I don't know if you could. What do you think of Trevor's voice? It kind of pulls you in, doesn't it?
Well, he's got as I mentioned before we started the show, he's got the gift of conversation for sure. And he does have that radio voice, definitely. And the confidence to go with it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, thank you, baby.
It used to be my warmer up for the guests when they sit down. I'd say,
Hi, Barry Ward here.
or something like that. I think, Paul, to be honest, I'm not sure that I sound any different than anybody else. I have spent a lot of money moving up in microphones. There's down on the floor, actually, at this very moment, there's a box full of about 10 or 15 microphones that I've listened to them, I've worked with them, and I thought they're rubbish. And I found this one. Well, this one again was secondhand. It cost only 75 quid. I know that's a lot of money to some people, but it was a 75 pound thing, and I found its sweet spot. So I know that if I talk here, it's nice. So I kind of
my camera vibrate. I like.
Well, I've kind of got used to this is my hot spot. So because it's a podcast, it's only audio. You want to hear me at my best, so I'll come in nice and tight.
I think the point is that when you're in that podcast, it's kind of seamless because the conversation is flowing, so you're not distracted. Now, some people do not have that voice. And you do have that voice, and that's really important. Whether you stumbled across that, or whether you was told that, I don't know. But you've got that great voice for the podcast. It kind of takes you in. I like it.
There's a couple of things that are like the secrets of why Spirited Talk is how it is and why it is popular, why it's timeless. And I say that quite proud that it's timeless. You could listen to 1, 2, 3, 4 episodes, from the first series. They still have as much value today now as they had when they were recorded. So what makes it that way? What makes the guest sound so good? Why is all your attention going to that guest's words? And the trick is how I produce it. I cut every piece of nonsense out. When somebody goes and people do, they're filler words. There's hundreds of filler words. I take all of those out in the edit. It's a long, tedious job. It takes roughly 3 to 4 days to edit one episode, and sometimes it's double episodes. And it's cleaning the voice up. I'm not trying to change the message. I'm trying to take away the distractions that the listeners got. So you as a listener, when you listen to any of the podcasts, I know that you're hearing the pure message that medium wanted to say, without any of the stuff that's going to make you in 5 minutes say, oh, don't they say a lot? Those sort of distractions.
Yeah.
So it's down to the edit, really. And that is the big time consumer.
It certainly takes you in, and I love that. I wish we could edit. We've had a few bloopers on when we're live. There's no chance of editing. So and the other day, it was my birthday the other day, and I saw my mother, and she said, will you stop saying awesome on your lives when your guests are talking? I didn't realize I was doing that. So
yes, mothers are like my mother has a few pointers for me too. Yeah, they can be like that.
Yeah, because your mother's
and you're conscious of it after that. You're conscious of it every show, isn't it? It's so funny.
Absolutely. We should actually say that, Monique, you're at your mother's house, aren't you? Because normally you're at home, but you're away. Whereabouts are you?
I'm from Vancouver, BC, Canada. That's where we've been doing all the shows from, the last many shows from. But out here, we're allowed to travel now. And it's opened up, so I haven't seen my mother in a year and a half. So I popped
lovely.
to come and see her. I'm in her living room right now while she patiently waits in the other room for us for the show, probably watching it. So
I'm sorry
yeah.
to embarrass you, Monique. It's just people might be wondering where you are, and we didn't do the intro at the beginning, did we? So yeah, we got kind of carried away by this. Someone playing a Spirited Talk music. It's fantastic. We need to up our game, Monique. We need a proper intro like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need. But can we talk about your website as well and let people know how to get in touch with you, Trevor? If I just share the screen here, this is your website, so people can go onto here.
Well, that's fancy.
That is very fancy. So there's one thing I want to say as well. They're all free, aren't they, your podcasts?
They currently are, Paul. And there's a hint of the future there. They currently are.
Yeah.
The next series, season 3, is probably the last season that everything is free. I think in season 4, there's likely to be a pricing on certain parts of it. I think the pod classes are going to come out and be part of the partners deal. We have partners on Spirited Talk that are basically investing in the show and give money to keep it going, and they get their own sort of content. So there's a lot of the content will be moved towards the partners in the future. Again, not being critical, but I kind of also got this opinion recently: the more you give somebody something for nothing, the less they value it.
Good point. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, certainly. This is your website, and that's pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to quickly share the screen for because you're also on Facebook, aren't you?
Oh, yes. We have a wonderful, well, I say wonderful. Well, yes, it is. We have a big family on Friends of Spirited Talk. It's growing by the day. I think we're up to just under 1,400 people at the moment. It's a private group. It's called the Friends of Spirited Talk, as you're seeing on that screen there.
You don't want to see my friends requests that are coming up either.
That's
So
right.
apologies for that.
Yeah, so it's very, very good. And on there is where we report what's happening. At the moment, we've just come out of the 10-day appeal, so fundraising appeal. So there's a lot of stuff going on about that at the moment.
Yeah,
and of course, I'm in between seasons.
Can we talk about that? So you've just done a charity auction, haven't you?
Mm.
I'm just going to stop sharing the screen, bring you back in. That's better. And it was for Pathfinder dogs.
Yes. Yeah.
You want to talk to us a little bit about that, please?
Well, my last guest of the season 2 was the wonderful Gwen Acora. So, Gwen Johnson, as I should correctly call her, the late Derek's wife. And she agreed, probably 6 months after Derek passed, she agreed to come in and record her story with me. Unfortunately, lockdown, etc., we had to keep delaying it. Anyway, this June just gone, she said she agreed she'd come to the studio and do a recording. And she is a beautiful lady. She really is a remarkable lady. Wonderful story, and opened my eyes about Derek. I learned a lot more about Derek, and I kind of always had time for him anyway, but I had even more time after this interview. And she talked about her and Gwen and Derek were patrons of Pathfinder Dogs for Guiding Dogs, a charity based in Scotland. And I kind of thought, well, it's weird really, because poor old Derek, who was bringing in loads of money from the theatres for that, he was fundraising for that, was no longer around. I thought, I'm only a tiny man with, a tiny audience, but maybe we could raise some money from it. So we did a 10-day auction. Now, everybody thinks it was highly planned. Trust me, I winged it all the way from day 1 to day 10. It was just winged it. I had no idea what I was doing, but we had the golden envelope auction. So we asked guests and anybody to give any gifts. So we had readings coming in, we had paintings coming in from some of these spiritual artists. We had loads of gifts coming in, and I put them all in a golden envelope. Well, I wrote them on a card, and eventually I put a golden envelope in each one. I did it invisibly, so nobody knew what was in what envelope. Put a number on the envelope, and we auctioned those envelopes off blind over 10 days. So nobody knew what they were getting, but they were bidding on these envelopes. And on day 10, we had the reveal, basically, when we showed what you've won. And we also had 2 star prizes for the 2 people that donated the most to the appeal. And surprisingly, I set a target at the beginning. I thought I'll be lucky if I get that, which is 250 quid. But we went through that, and we went to the double 500 quid, and I thought, wow, this is brilliant. And then by the end of the final night 10, we'd raised £1,260.
Wonderful.
Which only today has gone into the Bank of Pathfinders, because I finally got the money from the fundraising page, and it's gone to Pathfinders today. And on our website right now is the thanks from Anne Raw, the organizer behind Pathfinders, and she's thanked us all for our donation. And what's exciting, Paul, forget what we've done, think about it this way. She told me, Anne from Pathfinder Dogs, she said £1,265, which is what you've just given us, will feed all of our guide dogs for 12 months.
Oh, wow.
And give us some to put towards a new puppy.
Oh,
wow.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Wow. One fundraising, and we've taken one hassle off that lady.
I say that must be so, it's just wonderful charity and what they do, etc. But the work that goes into something like that, and I did listen to the interview that you did. And I believe you were talking about how long it takes to train the dogs before they even go out.
Yeah, several years. Yeah, absolutely.
Before they placed.
Yeah.
You know, and then they promise to feed the dog and look after the dog, the vet's bills and the food. Yeah. You know, it's just to buy a dog these days for a pet like that type of dog was thousands, and then to feed it and. Just
but can you also you got to look at the point of view from the person that's got very damaged sight or no sight at all. How suddenly Pathfinders are saying, we can give you a partner, we can give you a dog. This dog can help around the house, can get newspapers, can make sure you're safe when you're out walking. We'll be by your side, we'll be your companion, we'll bring you love and affection. Wow. And it's so easy for us with eyesight to dismiss that as, but imagine walking around with your eyes closed all day long. You'd fairly soon want to open them. So, it's remarkable. I'm proud that we did it, and I'm proud of our listeners for helping raise that big fund of money.
Yeah, it was a fantastic effort and a fantastic amount of money. And congratulations to everybody that took part in that. It's brilliant. Now that we talked about spirited talk, I kind of want to come back to a little bit more about you, Trevor, and your mediumship. And what do you do? Do you teach as well yourself?
I'm not a trained teacher, so I don't tend to make a big deal about teaching on the show. After all, we've got CSNUT qualified teachers, tutors. I'm not a tutor. However, I have had students myself, and I have taught myself. I kind of, that sounds like I'm being self-opinionated. I kind of think I know what standards I can teach too. There's no way, if they ask me about physical mediumship or whatever, how can I teach it? I've never done it. I can only tell them what I know about it. So I'm very careful that when I've had students, I teach to what I know. But it's good. I enjoy teaching. And I guess, Paul, without it sounding egotistical again, I think we're teaching through the podcast anyway. So,
well, absolutely. And again, I can't kind of emphasize enough to get people to come and have a listen, because you've certainly hooked me in, because we always do our research on our guests, and I've been listening to pretty much most of them. And there was a lovely, forgive me, her name's gone out of my head. I believe it was a Dutch lady. And she did a wonderful, and there I was driving, by the way, and it said, warning, do not listen to this while you're driving. I'll be fine. If the police are listening, I did pull over, okay? But it was wonderful. She did like an alignment as well. So, I found that really fantastic.
I do believe you're talking about the very beautiful and the very wonderful Danielle Nijhuis.
Oh, that's fun, yeah.
Danielle, I absolutely love. I mean, not only is she gorgeous to look at, she's a very clever lady, very clever. A few months back, I was arranging the interview for Danielle. So we were going back 6 months, and we were talking on Facebook, and I said, I'm looking forward to, meeting you on Wednesday. And she said, and just ask about my health. How are you? Because I hear you've had a chest infection. Well, at that very moment, my partner Jane's in the chair opposite. She's in agony with a rheumatoid arthritis. She's having a real bad time with it. And I said, to be honest, Danielle, it's not me that's got the problems at the moment. My partner Jane. Now it's a Saturday night, and Danielle said, "Tell me your partner's name." I told her, and she said, "Can you tell her to stop and stay still for 30 minutes while I do some healing?" So I said to Jane, switch line of duty off, forget that.
We still don't know who H is, do we? Let's face it.
Yeah, exactly. She, you know, I watched Jane, and she was there, and I said to Jane, Jane, explain anything, describe to me anything that's happening to you. Now, Danielle can't hear it because she's in my headphones, in the lounge. And Jane's going, "Oh, I can feel the light coming in my, I can feel the energy through this." And at the end of it, Jane felt very much better. And I said, and interestingly, when Jane said, "Oh, I think it's finishing now," seconds later, Danielle in my ear said, "I've finished now." And I just thought, this is remarkable. So Danielle took a place in my heart because she took time out to do that at no cost to help Jane, to help us in a healing. So yeah, I mean, when I class Danielle, and when I say that Danielle's a beautiful lady, I'm not talking just looks. There are some people that are so beautiful through their body, through their soul, through their eyes, through the whole thing, that you can't help but fall in love with them. And I'm very lucky that in Spirited Talk, in this podcast, I've met some remarkable people that come into that. I can honestly say I love them. It's like Adam. I love Adam. I really love Adam. So yeah. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
It's amazing the people that you meet when you're doing this kind of work, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's exceptional.
Mm.
You know, yeah. So I understand that. And I'm sure you can go on with a plethora of stories with all the people that you've interviewed and the experiences. So, but
yeah, just a few. Just a few. There's lots of stories. I'm not sure I can think of on the top of my head. We've had one or two good outtakes as well. I think my favorite outtake, I don't know if you've, oh no, it's partners only can hear this, but we've got a bank of what we call whoops files for the partners. So in their library, they've got whoops files. And one of the earliest that ever happened was Mark Stone, the fabulous, well-spoken Mark Stone is in an interview with me. And I meant to say to Mark something about we have the well-knowledged, well-educated medium Mark Stone with us, but instead it came out as well-endowed Mark Stone.
Wow.
And it just cracked up, and we were both laughing. And he came back with a gag. He said, "Oh, I like that. I can see the headline, the well-hung medium." And it was just it was just so funny. So yeah, we've loads of outtakes and things like that. But even on the serious side of it, again, the reason I'm doing currently at the moment this top 10 podcast is because I'm not making favoritism out of these people. I'm not saying, "Oh, Lynn Cottrell's better than Danielle," or Caviar's better than. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. The message I'm saying is these podcasters moved me. They even with 20 years, I've got so much to learn, and each of these. When I was doing the list of the top 5, top 10, I thought I moved in that one. I remember when this happened. I remember when that happened. And today it's Lynn Cottrell's, as I said. And I remember when I went from not really wanting to know anything about spirit art, I thought, what poppycock's that? To in the end thinking, wow, what a faculty this is to have in your armor. So, yeah. So I love the podcast, and you'll be surprised who the number 1 podcast is, which is out in 2 days.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
We'll have to wait.
We'll look forward to that. So I know you spoke of your partner a second ago. And again, I've struggled with my mediumship and having a relationship because people don't always understand what's happening to you in your own personal journey. As much as you try to share that, have you found that with yourself, with your partner?
It's a very good question. One I didn't really cover in my story very well with Adam, because I'm really not sure how to say it, but I'll be honest, hands on my heart, it was hard work. It was frighteningly hard work, where you are going against the grain, where you're doing something that is so out of character for you. When I'm telling my partner Jane that I'm going to a church, that I'm going into the funny shop in the square and buying some funny stuff from the, she's going, what have I got involved in here? What's this man? He's a bit doolally whopper. And also the fact that she has always been very much a non-believer. I don't believe in this nonsense, and I don't believe in there being life after death. And that's something that you got to work with. You got to, and it's quite interesting, Paul, because and Monique, for this matter, I remember when I first got tickets to go and watch John Edward live.
Oh, okay.
And I was so buzzing. And Jane said, "Well, get me some tickets because I quite like him too." Now, she doesn't believe in mediumship, but she likes John Edward because he's dead cool.
Yeah.
So I got the 2 tickets. We went off to Little Torquay Theatre, Princess Theatre in Torquay.
Yeah.
We went off to Torquay. We watched him, and he was brilliant, like you see on TV, but better. And she came out of the studio and came out of the theatre out in the street. And I looked at her like, so what do you think then? And she went, "Oh, my God, he is brilliant. Oh, and she was so buzzing." And then I said to her, "So now do you believe?" And she went, "No, I don't think I believe." I was like, whoa. And it's been like that for years. She is changing a bit now, Paul. She is changing. And it's interesting, the fabulous Marlene Woolgar.
Yeah.
It's been teasing our Jane, because Jane, my partner, and Marlene are now, get on. They're like good friends now. And Marlene has been hinting to get Jane in one of her psychic development classes, one of the early ones. As of this morning, the last response from Jane when I mentioned it, she went, "I don't think I'm interested." Now that's good, because she was, "I'm definitely not interested" a few weeks ago, but now it's, "I don't think I'm interested." So there's room. It's opening up.
Yeah, brilliant.
This is exciting. Just getting there.
Yeah, but again, Paul, all of this, it has been hard work. It really has, and not just with my partner, but at work and with all my mates that were taking a mickey. And it's true that when we start out on this journey, right at the very beginning, we're all buzzing, we're all excited. We can talk to dead people, and you only need one person, one mate, come up to you and you say, "Prove it."
Yeah. Oh gosh,
and you're buggered, excuse the word, but you're blown. You can't. You have no comeback. You have no knowledge. You have no education. So you can't handle this. And you go back into your ball and you think, "Oh, maybe I am a bit of a div." And you go through all of this. But now I tell you what, Paul, seriously, I'm buzzing every day. I'm so excited because, it's great. And I'm happy. I've got a good life. So I'm on steroids, I think.
What I love about you is your energy as well.
Yeah.
It really comes across. Yeah.
Well, what about this though? I mean, before the podcast, I was a courier. I had my own courier business. I was out. I leave the house at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning to go and deliver something. If it was a factory in Aberdeen, for example, I would have to leave at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to get to that factory to deliver, to come back home. And my hours were astonishingly hard through the courier work, and I made no money at it, to be honest. Suddenly, COVID comes along. I lose my contract.
Oh, okay.
And I am forced to do something with my time. And I now work with Spirit 24/7. How many people would love to do that? Now I don't get any money. They got thousands of pounds. I've never made a penny out of this, but I have Spirit with me from the minute I wake up to the minute I go to bed. Even in editing, even in talking to the guests, even in between that, I'm playing with my tarot cards or reading books. I'm buzzing. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. COVID, I know it's a bad thing. It's obviously killed a lot of people, and we're sorry for people's losses, but there's also been a plus side to it as well with the connecting. We were saying this before we went live, Monique and myself. Monique's in Canada, here I am, and we're all connecting and we're coming together. So it's definitely a way forward. It's definitely a positive.
And isn't it amazing, Paul? I mean, are you with me on this, that before this COVID locky down thingy and all these zoomy jobby things come along, we were all saying, Don't be stupid. You can't do mediumship over a phone, over email. You have to do it in person. You have to feel the aura, the energy. Hey, it works brilliant on Zoom. And we've all learned. So the spirit world are actually looking on and saying, we've got you moved on a bit now. Now you're getting to understand it. So
absolutely. So thank you for agreeing to be interviewed, by the way. And before we go, is one real big question, really. What next? Not just for Spirited Talk, but for yourself, Trev. What next?
Holiday in Lanzarote in about 3 months' time. It's already booked. Yeah, it's already booked. We got the villa. I cannot wait. I'm buzzing to go. Yeah, I'm buzzing. Oh no, there's no reasons now. There's
a message coming in. Hold on, no, I'm joking. I'm sure.
No, seriously, Paul and Money, Spirited Talk is an adventure. It is a full-time job without a question of a doubt. It takes every hour of my day to do this. At the moment, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's hard work. I can't say that enough. It is extremely hard work. It really can be tiresome too when you've put a podcast out. You think it's the best thing since sliced cheese, and you go and look at the viewers, and one day you've only had 25 downloads. You say, but over the picture, over the long term, of course, that's not the case. I just love what I do, and I'm trying to make it better all the time. My limitations are that there's only me. There's only one me. We've talked about this, my partner and I, we've said, if I had a young lad apprentice that I could teach to do editing, to actually edit to my style, to edit as tight as I could, then I would have time to expand this even further and do many more things that I want to do and make it more exciting. But I'm limited. So
can I just say, and I'm not trying to blow smoke, all that kind of stuff, but you do a wonderful job, and keep doing.
So do you.
I agree. Absolutely. Sounds very professional. Unbelievably professional, I have to say.
Yeah, but so do you, Paul. So do you. You're offering a spirit. I know we think on the same lines. I know that what you're doing is for the greater good. Yeah. I know. I've read some of yours. I've read some, and I've watched some of the interviews with. Were you with Billy Cook for a while?
No, not yet. That could be a future one.
Right. Okay, but I've watched what you're doing. I love what you're doing, and your motivation, your incentives are right. It's look, we're not doing this for showy. We're not doing this to get fame. We're doing this because spiritualism needs it. And we need to get a solid message across. I think I was reading, I'm not sure whether it was one of your posts or somebody else's posts earlier on today, but they were saying about where are all these mediums coming from? They're popping out of the woodwork. They go and do a weekend course, and suddenly we've got mediums sprouting here, there, and everywhere. Well, we can't do anything about that. But what we can do is talk better about what we have, get the best education, teach people through and you'd be surprised how many people are learning from the stories of others.
And before I get my soapbox out, you are absolutely right. Whoever made that, wasn't me, by the way, made that comment, but it's absolutely true. There is a lot of people that are claiming to be teachers that are out there teaching, but let's not get started.
Oh, that's a sore point with me. That's a sore point. I won't mention the person, but I was speaking to a person some time ago now, but I said, who's your best teacher? Come on, who's your mentor? And she said, I only take advice from the spirit world. All of my teaching comes from the spirit world. Now, in my head, a little flag went, bing, red flag, warning, talking nonsense. And I then had this hang up in my head. Can you really learn from spirit? So I spoke a few weeks later to somebody who I really respected. And I said, could you spend your life learning to teach and learning spiritualism from spirit? And the answer come back categorically, no, they do not live in this world. So they cannot teach you. They can give you guidance and this, that, and ever, but it needs to be somebody. And in fact, it was Andy Bing that also said, you need to be in this world to be able to teach spiritualism. So it makes sense.
So that's a perfect ending as well.
Do I get to play my theme tune?
You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it on the outro. But before you go, thank you from both myself and Monique for being guests.
Absolutely. It's been an honor to have you. Thank you.
Well, it's been, yeah. And as I said, you're the first Monique and the prettiest Monique that I've ever known. That's a guarantee. You are the number one Monique that I've ever met. So
Lovely. Thank you for that compliment.
it's my pleasure. I also should say I love the sexy accents. Am I allowed to say that?
I love your British accent.
It's fine.
So.
Oh dear, thank
Oh, he's just frozen.
you. Frozen? I've not. I'm moving fine here.
Am I frozen? Oh no.
No,
Oh,
you're back now. You're back now.
He's back.
hard stopping moment. We're live.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're back. Thank you very much, Paul, for inviting me on. And I really, really found it an honor to be asked. Honestly, it means so much to me.
It's mutual. It
Thank
really is mutual.
Absolutely.
So hit that music.
Here we go then.
Hi, Monique. How awesome was that?
Oh, that was a fun interview. It really was.
That was really fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So apologies for any background noise, by the way, people. There might have been a little bit of background noise. But I realized that was Monique, that was you sharpening your pencils.
That was me. I didn't realize that you could hear me over the interview, but I was sharpening my pencils, getting ready for the next part of our show, which is the mediumship part and the spirit art demonstration. So yeah, we're all set up for that and ready to go. So how's our audience doing, Paul?
Yeah, so for those that are watching, guys, please, you're slightly freezing, so I'm hoping the internet's going to get better tonight. Yeah, guys, if you'd like a message, let us know. Let's get interactive on the messages and let's bring spirit through tonight. That'd be really good. So, or today in if you're in Canada, because there's guys watching in Canada live right now as we're speaking from your side of the world.
And United States, yes, in North America.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So no, that's exciting.
Carol said she thought you was putting a flat pack together, Monique.
A flat pack?
A flat pack. We have flat packs furniture over here. We have to build it we have to build it.
Oh.
So we've got messages coming on. If you'd like a message, please let us know. If you feel that the information is for you, there's a link. You can see the link now. We just put it up on StreamYard. We're going to try and get the links in on Facebook as well. We're going to ask Kaylee if she can link it to the top of the page so you can see that. Or just cut and paste. I'm rubbish with all this modern stuff, Monique, can't you? Cut and paste and all that. Just terrible.
It is a challenge.
It is a challenge, isn't it? So it's a wonder how we managed to connect all the way from Canada and Britain together.
It's unbelievable. Like Trevor was saying, you know, it's unbelievable how this technology helps us, even when it involves, you know, connecting with spirit. It's amazing how we can do that right across the other side. I mean, you're on the other side of the globe. It's absolutely amazing. So yeah, and so if anybody, I don't see the stream. I don't actually see the live stream from here on my. All I have is an iPad where I am at this point. But if anybody can pick up any of the information, whether it be through our mediumship or any of the information that we give you, or even in the sketch as it reveals itself, text away. We need your texting. We don't hear your voices, so we really rely on
absolutely. So
on
if
your
you
text.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't want to come into the studio, please, you know, let us know the information we're getting. Obviously, we'd love you to come in, even if you're in a dressing gown. You don't always have to put the camera on. As long as we can hear your voice, it really does help us with the connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
That helps well.
Yeah, it's lovely to see. We've got people coming on the stream. We've got Paul has just said hi, and Zoe and Nick. Oh, Nick from Little Port Christian Spiritualist Church, which I'm there tomorrow, incidentally, and I can't wait to be there tomorrow tomorrow evening. Actually, I believe it's also, Nick, if I'm right in saying it's still live online. as well as being able to be there in person, which is fantastic. I'm pretty sure that's the case. So I'm really looking forward to that. That service believes around about 6:45, I believe, or I need to be there at 6:45, or else I'm in trouble. I'll have Nick chasing me down the A14. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that tomorrow night. So how do you want to work tonight, Monique? Do you want to go first, or would you like me to go first? And you
No,
start?
I'm going to let you go first, and I'm going to try and link with you. I'm going to turn my camera around, and it's going to be shooting at the canvas that's in front of me. I have an easel there, and I'm going to sketch from there, and I'm going to be relying on what I'm feeling with hearing, feeling, seeing. I'll be connecting with Paul, but also listening to Paul as he reads your comments. I'll be relying on what he's saying in regards to your comments as well. So I'll let you pick that up. I'm going to switch the camera around. There, back camera.
Oh, great. So you're going to be drawing. So Monique hasn't disappeared. She's going to be working literally using her pencils, which I'm really quite excited about, Monique, that you're using pencils.
Yeah, pencil and the traditional way.
Absolutely.
And I also do my spirit portraits this way as well. And as an artist, you know, you actually can get a lot more control with the texture of the pencil and the paper. And some people find that interesting because they can actually see, instead of the drawing reveal itself technically at the way we normally do it, they actually get to see my hand drawing it, which brings a human element to the sketch. So
Absolutely.
I look forward to this.
Yes. So anyone who thinks that's my hand, unfortunately, it's not. It's just a trick of the way it looks on camera. It's crazy. Good luck. Everyone's saying good luck. So brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to connect first. And okay, straight away, I don't even know why I paused, because I had this lady in my head before I even started. So I was just taking a breath to kind of calm myself. I've got this lovely lady coming in from spirit. I keep hearing the name Joan. Hi, Becky. I keep hearing the name Joan that connects to her as well. And when we give names, sometimes it can be a bit of, other mediums will tell you that it can be difficult because the person that receives that name will think it's the person for them. It might be a relative or someone very close to them. Okay, so when I give names, it's either the particular person coming through, or it's someone that would be very close and very dear to them. Okay, so let me carry on working. I've got this. I know this lady was a mother as well, mother connection, and I feel very much with this lady. There's a spirituality. There's definitely a faith with this lady, a strong faith in life. I know. Okay. I feel there was two men in her life that was important to her. I'm not talking about husband and father. I'm talking two men, two partners that were important to her in her life. Okay, and as I bring her, as she's coming in closer. Okay. Okay. I'm also aware that this lady had issues with her mobility, and there's something about broken legs as well, her breaking her leg later in life. There's a problem with her breaking legs. She keeps showing me a leg in plaster. I feel like she had some work on her legs. Okay, the name Joan, and I do feel this is mum as well, to the connection to somebody here in the stream. I'm also very much evidential. She's given me a handbag as well. She's shown me her handbag, and it's black. It's very much of its day. Okay. She's trying to give me where she's from. There's something Wood, Deanwood, or there's some kind of name that she's trying to give me, or Oakwood, that connects to her. I actually feel this was either a old people's home, or what would they call that in Canada for old people, Monique? Would you?
A senior's home.
Senior's home. Thank you. I don't know why I never can remember that. I do feel there was a period this lady was in a senior's home. But I keep getting the name.
Do you feel North America somewhere?
Do you know, I don't feel local with this lady because I'm not feeling that.
I'm feeling, yeah, I'm not feeling Europe or UK either.
Yeah, because this has a different feel feel to
It does.
this lady. And yeah, I do kind of feel this as a senior's home for this lady. I'm going back to the same evidence with the broken leg. There was some kind of issue with her leg. I felt that was corrected. There was a problem with her leg. Okay, really, I also feel this lady would have been outspoken at times, a part of her personality, that she would speak her mind. But I kind of, to be fair to her, when it was necessary, she wasn't someone that was loud. She was outspoken when it was necessary. She was quite a forthright lady. The name Jean or Joan, she keeps trying to give me the name Jean or Joan that connects to her. I know this, like, we could be going down. I'm not sure actually where we're going with this. I know we're not in the UK, Monique.
No.
And I know this lady would have suffered with really bad headaches, because I keep getting like a migraine type sensation with me.
I'm getting a North American feel to this.
There's the name that she tries to keep giving. It's like Oakwood or something like this. And I do believe it's to do with where she stayed. There's an Oakwood, or yeah, in the name of the seniors' home. There's a real yeah. Okay.
I'm getting a very gentle-natured feel from this lady. Very loving, gentle-natured. I'm not sure if you said this already, Paul. More on a just a reserved side. Her personality is on the reserved side.
But strong-minded as well. Strong-minded, quietly confident.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also know this lady's been passed for some time. I know there would have been, I keep hearing maple as well, the trees, maple trees. Do you know, this is really strange, Monique. I don't know why, but I feel like you connect to this somehow.
Yes, I was wondering about that.
And I know you're in Mum's home, but I have a funny feeling this might connect to you, to a relative of yours. Not sorry, not a direct relative, a friend, a relative of a friend, if that makes sense.
Well, I'll know as I continue to draw if that's true.
Is your mum watching tonight?
She may be.
Also, the name Doris as well. I can hear the name Doris that keeps coming through on here. She keeps giving me the name Doris, and she keeps laughing. I also know there's a Michael that connects to her. Mike, or Michael, Mike. She keeps trying to give me this name, Mike. And I know, again, I have a left-sided hearing problem on my left-hand side. I also know that chocolates were a thing for this lady. You could so she had a bit of a sweet tooth. Also, yeah, you guys can think you call it candy. There's sweets as well. She's trying to give me a sweet that's like a lemon drop type thing. The more I feel this, Monique, the more I feel that there's a connection to you in this lady. And I feel your mother has a connection to this lady somehow.
Interesting.
Whether it's a friend of hers, whether you know this lady. But I still feel there's somebody watching tonight that would be able to understand this.
Somebody in the audience.
Yeah, I do think somebody's watching that would take this. It's great, great evidence, by the way. Great drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I keep getting debilitating headaches from her as well. I know that would have been a thing. Also, now I'm given the month of April for a birthday. I want to say the 21st.
21st. I'll mark that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if your mum is watching live.
She was just here a minute ago.
Oh, that's a shame. We could have got her in on the live stream. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Wouldn't it?
Yeah, I also know this lady would have worn a scarf, but almost like a ribbon type scarf. I'm seeing a silk ribbon type, but it's like going that way rather than down.
So nobody in the audience can take this yet.
Not yet, not yet. I'm kind of wondering if we've dropped off live because no one's saying nothing. But I know this is not UK. I know I can feel myself going across the Atlantic with this.
Yes, I do too.
And I do feel that where we're going with this is to do whether this is a family connection. I know this lady was a mother. I also know with this lady that her partner would have gone first. Also, okay. Again, I feel this is okay. A June anniversary with her as well. Oh, we're still here. That's good, guys. That's good to know you're still watching. Yeah. And I feel very much this lady lived in the country. There's
Yes.
a real, and I have this strong feeling that she emigrated, that she was from another country.
Which is very common for us in Canada. Yeah, I'm getting a culture behind this lady, perhaps even a belief system, like as in religion of some sort, you know, like Mennonite or a certain religion, a certain belief system based on her culture where she comes from.
Nick's just put on it, or someone's just asked Nick if there are only 2 of us on the live. Guys, we're going across about 6 or 7 different platforms. So don't worry, there's more than 2 of you. Definitely. Yeah, I do. I feel this is to do with your mum. It connects into your mum. I'm pretty sure your mum must be watching.
I will. She's she may be watching, but she left the room for quiet sake as we do this work.
Probably doesn't want to disturb us.
Yeah.
I keep getting, and I'm still getting it. Really, and it's definitely not my head. Headaches with this lady. Brilliant. Okay, if no one can take it, we're going to have to leave it, aren't we? And I kind of want to give that to you.
Now you said, yes. You said, Michael,
Yes.
that happens to be my nephew, whom we saw last night.
Okay.
And oh my goodness. Wow, Paul.
Also, the gene or the giant that she's trying to give me then?
Now, you know, as you can see, and a lot of people have mentioned in the sketches, you can actually see the essence of the person in the sketch.
Yes.
And and you know, honestly, as I sketch it, and this happens to me once in a while, family members will come in and halfway through the drawing, I'll realize I'm drawing my father or my 2 brothers that have passed.
Yeah.
And as I'm sketching here, I see my grandmother more and more. But the reason I didn't recognize her right away is this is quite a young version of her.
Yeah.
So I'll have to show my mother this. We were just next to my grandmother's house. She's passed at 100 just last night. So that is very interesting.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Oh, that was some time ago when she lived
okay.
a lengthy life, 100. Who lives to 100 these days, you know? I mean, a lot do.
But she was well dressed as well, Monique. Do you understand that? She would be well dressed.
Yes.
And there's, I think you said there was culture. She was a cultured lady, definitely.
Yes.
Do you understand the connection with the, emigrating? The connection with family emigrating?
Yes.
I want to give you one more name
from France.
as well.
I have family
Okay.
members that immigrated from France.
Brilliant. Okay. Would you understand it sounds like Colin or Colleen?
Oh, Colleen is my cousin, and I'll be seeing her
Perfect.
today.
Perfect. Colleen. Great. Lovely.
So, oh my goodness, that's
Isn't
amazing.
it interesting though that you're in mother's house and you have a connection of a loved one coming? It's so fantastic.
It is. It's amazing.
So I guess you got to give this to your mother.
Oh, definitely. When we're done, I will pass this to her and see what she says. We'll have to look at the photo albums at younger photos of my grandmother, but I can see her. I'm looking here and I can actually see her in that sketch.
Yeah, would you ask her about the headaches that she suffered as well? That's a good piece of evidence.
Okay, I certainly will. Yes.
Everyone's loving your drawings, Monique.
And she lives in this. My grandmother ended up living in this very town of 3,000.
Ah,
I'm in a small town of 3,000 in central Canada, Manitoba, the
beautiful.
province of Manitoba, and the population here is 3,000. And she spent many years in this town, actually. Now that we speak, so isn't it great that she comes through? I love it when my family comes through.
There's a real sense with her, though, Monique, that in her presence, it would have been a real sense of peace. You know, I kind of feel people went to her. She kind of calmed people down. She had this presence about her that was very healing, very calming.
Oh, yes. People adored her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She was the matriarch of our family. And
Yeah.
life,
Oh,
there was, yeah.
Zoe's put, you can see Monique in the sketch. That's
Oh,
it.
I know. Isn't that funny? Yes. I was just looking at that. I can see Anne's in the sketch. She had 3 daughters. And as I sketch, my private thoughts are, my goodness, I can see my aunt in that sketch too. One just passed away about a month ago. Unfortunately, she passed of COVID-19. But there are 2 others left, and I'll be seeing
Okay.
one 87 years old. I'll be seeing
that's
her in probably tomorrow. So I'll show her this sketch.
That's
Yeah.
lovely. That's lovely. Lots of love around the Michael, though. But I feel they called him either Mike or Mikey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
He was the first grandson.
Ah,
First grandson. And he
okay.
picked me up at the airport last night.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. Fantastic. Monique,
Wow.
you are awesome.
You never know what's going to happen, do you, Paul, with spirit?
No, and you can't call it spirit. They and obviously being in mother's house and not working. I know, and I hope you don't mind me saying this to people. I know you was quite cautious about tonight because of obviously working with pencil, and you haven't done it for a long time. But yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, it's the technology. How do I line up the iPad in order for people to actually see the sketch? And it
Yes.
worked out quite well.
It's
So
brilliant. It's natural as well. It's really quite natural and organic, and I love it. Lovely. We've got time for one more, Monique. Should we do?
okay.
If people are I mean, great people are sticking around to watch. Just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, Nick. Nick's just said they do like to throw curveballs.
They do.
Absolutely, they
They
do.
certainly do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? So, oh, wow. This is very special to me. Thanks for bringing her in, Paul. That's lovely.
I didn't have much of a choice. See, just
No, it wasn't
in.
exactly planned. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we go with the next one. I'm going to let you link here again, if you don't mind.
You want me to link again?
Yeah, please.
Okay, that's a bit dangerous because I can feel your brothers around you as well.
Oh,
no. But let me just take a minute and stop that from happening.
Okay.
Okay.
I've got my hands full here, so I'll let you.
Okay, I now got another strong lady coming through, but the difference is with this lady, and a gentleman. There's a gentleman as well that comes in with her, and they've been reunited. But I feel, okay, she's confusing me a bit. What was that? Okay, right. I feel, although she's coming through, I feel they've been reunited. But I think he was her partner was the last person to pass. So I do feel mum passed first, but I do feel with this lady very much an organizer. Very much would fuss people and would organize people and would fuss you as well. And I kind of want to say, you know who I'm talking to in the audience, but I don't honestly, I don't know where this is going yet. But she's given me this information that you would know this lady. Oh, Monique, are you still there?
I am. I'm trying to link in as you speak, and I do
Okay,
connect with
this
a woman.
lady, I'm definitely connecting with the UK with this lady.
Yes, I agree. I'm feeling a woman, not from North America here.
Yeah.
I'm asking her to show herself. I just have more confidence if I can actually see them before I start sketching. So
Yeah.
go ahead, Paul.
Okay, I'll keep going. She's making me aware that she wasn't a particularly tall person. She was quite, not, I wouldn't say petite, but I'm seeing her around about 5'4". I feel this real sense of love and like a Christian faith with her as well. Might not just be, it might just be spiritual faith. I'm sorry to kind of define that. But there's a real faith in this woman's heart. I also, again, I've got, it sounds like Hilda, the name that she's trying to give me. That could be wrong. That could be Helen, but it's sorry to be rubbish with the name on that one. Okay. I really feel that this is a busy time as well, because for her, would have been a busy time for her. But I feel this lady was involved in either organizing a community center or that kind of thing. And yes, okay. Oh, okay. And I know she would have put quite a lot of weight on at the end of her life. I know she would have put quite a lot of weight on through no fault of her own. I know this would have been a problem for her. Okay. And okay. I know her eyesight was an issue for her too.
I do see her wearing glasses, and yes, you're right. I do see a smaller lady.
Okay. But would you understand? I'm seeing she's giving me different images of her for different parts of her life, and I know that she would have put a lot of weight on towards the end. I do know this lady, although I do feel it was cancer with this lady, but I do know that she was made comfortable. I also am aware that she had a walker as well. There was a walker with her. I also am aware that there's at least 3 daughters. I know this woman would have had a big family, and if it's not just her daughters, but also lots of grandchildren here. But she's making me aware of 3 daughters. Also, okay, the name David is coming in as well for her. I also feel that she's with oh, I'm confused now, because I'm confused why she's doing that, because okay, there's somebody else that's passed recently, a gentleman, but her partner did pass first. I'm sorry. There's somebody else that's passed in the last within the last year, sorry, with COVID. She's making me aware of that. But okay, but her partner was already passed. Okay. Just organizing the people, and I'm not sure if it's a church or a community center, but she would have just okay. It sounds like the name Merrill or if anybody understands this lady, please jump in. Let us know. And I'm kind of hoping that. Okay. Do you pick her up, Monique?
Yes.
Are you hearing the information?
I'm hearing what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do know she would have had, and we can't obviously draw.
I agree with you, Paul. You know, and as a spirit artist, I can, as we know, because we work together, you may be seeing her in spirit in one era of time, and I'm seeing another era of time. And yeah. I do notice a shift, a change in her body.
Yeah.
Right.
Another name, Margaret, is coming in as well, that connects to her.
I do feel it. I'm not sure, I not quite remember if you said this, but I do feel religion around her, or church
Yeah.
or something.
It's some kind of church, or
Yeah.
or I'm not, and I feel like it was a regular process as well, and I feel it was
Yeah.
organising people. I'm just going to throw it out there. I feel this connects to, possibly connects to Nick. Nick, if you're watching, do you understand this? I don't think it's your mother, but I think it's somebody around the church. It's something to do with the church. I'm not sure if you're there, Nick, and can hear me, because I feel like I need to hear the voice. I might have lost Nick. I'm not sure, but the church, her motivation, it just feels like it was a spiritual motivation. I think I do. That's my nan. Would you understand her? Oh, Nick, can you come in? Because that would be fabulous.
Yeah, I do feel a grandmother. And
Yeah.
I feel that she was involved, and I feel that she participated. She helped out with, involved with the church somehow. I just feel, a participation there somehow.
Nick is going to try and come in. Fantastic. I do feel there was a real community sense to this. But it's like I know Nick, your church is very much a community minded philosophy, but what it feels with this lady, this real community philosophy with this lady. Can I get the link? The link, can you see the link on our StreamYard? I'm not sure if Kaylee can send you the link. Lovely, thanks, Kaylee. Can you see it on the link, going through? I could try to, I might even have your email still, Nick. If that's the case, I can send it to you.
I am hearing a British accent of some sort.
Yeah, I can't find your email, Nick. What is your email? Oh, it's now coming. Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting.
She's now instructing.
I love how you captured her personality within that picture as well, because I do feel this lady would have been quite a bubbly character, and I can feel that just by looking at that picture.
She's now instructing me on her hair.
Ah, okay.
And I feel that it is a lighter color. Okay, let me just feel that. Very stylish lady.
I'm hoping Nick can jump in any second now.
And as I draw, I feel what I'm feeling is she really loved to participate.
Yeah.
I mean, the church is one area where she could, but she absolutely enjoyed participating, just like we enjoy participating in spiritual talk here. She feels drawn to it.
I've just sent you the link, Nick, by email. I found your email. I've just sent it to you.
Would Nick be his? Oh, okay, because I do feel a grandson.
Yeah, it said grandmother. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I'm loving these pencil drawings, Monique.
Yeah.
So natural.
Well, drawing on computer is quite a different feel from the texture is completely different.
I'm actually, it's harder, isn't it, to draw on computer? Have I got that?
It is, unless you're used to it. And I've worked as a graphic designer, computer graphic artist before computers came into the workplace. So
yeah.
I'm aging myself, but I haven't been back to pencil and paper for a very long time. and I'm quite enjoying it.
Yeah.
And so is Spirit, quite frankly, because I have to say, I'm not the one actually doing the drawing. I have been known to draw with my eyes closed. I've learned to open them because I can feel the sketch as I stare into the sketch. You can see the personality there. I pick up more information as the sketch reveals itself. And I can definitely feel this lady here as I draw. And I hope the recipient too can too. Is he coming in?
I hope so.
Okay.
It's not letting me in. Still trying. Okay, I've sent it you via email, Nick. So hopefully that you'll be able to jump in. Next week we'll attach the link onto the messages, hopefully.
I also feel a scarf with this lady. Nicely dressed.
Yeah. Strong character, though.
Strong personality. I'm getting that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, here he is. Good evening.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Hello, dears.
How do you like this picture? Do you recognize the image?
Well, it's funny you should say that. I've just got to get something. I was going to get it really, really quickly, but then I didn't because I was trying to get on. But I have just got to get something because this is absolutely brilliant. Bear with me. Bear with me.
Okay.
Welcome to Chateau Del Nick and all the other behind-the-scenes bits that you don't usually see. Because I was having a sort out this morning, and I found lots of lovely things. And she's right on top. Typical Sally Brown. Right, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, just coming into the light. But
oh, left a bit. Oh my gosh, Monique. Left a bit, right a bit. That's it. Perfect.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And I did see her with glasses. That's true.
you did say that earlier, yes,
did,
but she
yeah.
didn't always wear them. And I'll say this much. You're absolutely right. Grandad did pass several years beforehand. Her body did change. In actual fact, I've got a dodgy wrist at the moment. She fell over and broke her hip and her elbow. And she used to sit with a hand like this all the time and lift her shoulder. I've got a fractured collarbone and a damaged wrist here today. And I've been sitting like her all day. Yeah. And of course, there was a gentleman that passed this year to do with her, and that was Dad.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And so, you know, it doesn't surprise me that they got reunited because
that's what she
always
said.
Get on.
That was the first thing she said. We're reunited again.
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely?
That is lovely. Yeah. Monique,
that's a spit of Sally Brown.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Isn't it?
Interesting. In my mediumship, I never get the name of someone that is either my family, like Paul. I never get the Paul name, or I never get my sister is Sally. So I never get those family names. And Sid, my dad, I never get Sid. It's strange, isn't it? Because I'm kind of blocking it in my mind. Oh, it's my mind. So I try not to. I don't know why I do that. I've got to kind of move on from that. But that is wonderful.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
It's the eyes, Monique.
Yeah, the essence definitely comes through in the eyes in the sketches.
And you've got the family cheeks as well, because Dad had the family cheeks too. In fact, a lot of our family had the family cheeks.
You've got blue eyes. I felt straight away that she had blue eyes. That's one of the first things. I know you can't do color, Monique, but I did feel the blue eyes with her. That would have been beautiful blue eyes, and she would have been known for it in her younger days.
Yes. Yeah, she was a bit of a goer in the day. She was also the patriarch of the family, and it's funny you should say she was religious in her own way, although I never experienced it. But of course, ever since I opened up the church, she's been heavily involved in organising me.
Oh, that's what we're feeling. Okay.
Would you understand the name Mr. Spooner?
Spooner. It doesn't ring a bell, and the person that I would be able to ask is, well, probably stood behind me taking the mick right now.
Okay.
But there was a lot of. She was so involved in the community, involved in people's lives, that there was just so many names that I'd never be able to pin them down, because she literally had her hand in everyone's life.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's the strong nature that we're feeling, Paul.
And the community sense about her, because it felt like she was responsible for that.
Oh, she felt responsible for everything. She didn't hold back. She was funny. You got the name Hilda earlier on. It was actually, I'm going to get in so much trouble for this. It was actually Zelda, because I used to take the mick out of her and say that she looked like Zelda off of Terrorhawks.
Do you know?
I was young.
I remember that.
Yeah. I used to take the mick, and it's the cheeks. It's the cheeks again. She had Zelda's cheeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Sally for sure. But yeah, she loved interfering in people's lives.
Well, I'd be happy to get this to you definitely after the show. If we can get your contact information, I'd be happy to send it to you virtually.
Well,
Absolutely.
If you send it to me, Monique, I will print it out, because I'm seeing Nick tomorrow.
Oh.
So I'll print it out for him, and I'll get my printer working, and I'll print it out, bring it over when I come.
Wonderful.
Bless you. Thank you.
That's awesome. While we're here, Nick, and while we've got you live in the StreamYard, can you please plug tomorrow evening and the church, please?
I certainly could. We are, of course, out of Chateau Del Nick, even though it is still set up studio ready. Yeah. We've left Chateau Del Nick. We're back in Littleport Village Hall. The medium's arriving between 7:30 and 7:15, but we don't physically open the doors until about 7 o'clock. Although if you turn up early, we'll still let you in. Yeah. We start sitting people down around about past. We go live literally at 7:40. It's not only just in the hall, but we also stream from the village hall as well, so people can join in and watch. At the end of the day, the people that have supported the church from their homes, both locally and globally, I could not take them with us when we went back into the hall. And we've got a very, very good medium tomorrow night as well. He served us while we were online, but we get to meet him in the flesh tomorrow night. It's Paul Bannister.
Oh, is it me? Oh, God.
It's you. Yes. So yeah, it's going to be a great night. I know it's going to be great. It's going to be great, but it's going to be really good to actually physically see you, because you were actually booked in to come to us before all this kicked off. So and Wendy, bless her, she'll definitely be watching from the great beyond, because we lost Wendy obviously last year as well.
That was the lady that booked me originally.
Yes, it was. Yeah, so Mum's taken over now, because they used to bully me and beat me up and keep me in check between the two of them. Anyway, so she was always Wendy's apprentice, but the more and more I see that's definitely my nan. And it's funny really, because the pictures, the only pictures I've got of her is when she was older, but that's the nan that I remember from her younger days.
Yeah.
When she was in her prime, she worked. She did something to do with a hospital where she was always involved in organising and keeping people in check. And Grandad, he was a really strong personality, but she just won every time.
Do you know the three girls that she was talking about, though? She was mentioning three girls.
It was an extremely large family. I've got the sneaking impression that there were three girls, that she was one of three, or there were three others.
Okay.
She actually had, I think she was about one of 18.
Wow.
No, hang on. She was one of 21, because that was the other. Grandad was one of 18. She was one of about 21.
Wow.
Her her mother, my great grandmother, Annie Elizabeth, of whom she is named after, she had 145 living descendants when she passed. And she lost a lot of sons during the war and a lot of grandchildren during the war. But the funny thing is, I was number 146. However, obviously, she passed before I was born. Yeah. Strange thing, though, I remember sitting and talking to her in the corner of the room. She always used to sit there in the corner of the room. And I used to say, it's that lady in the picture there, that lady in the picture there. Of course, nobody else could see her. And that was when it all started. That was my first proper, real spirit contact. And it was at Nan's house.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. See, I get my spirituality from my mum's side, but I get the memories of spirit contact from my dad's side, which was strange, really, because Dad, although he didn't come across as deeply religious, he did go to the Boys' Brigade.
Oh, right.
And so that was quite a religious grouping.
Yeah.
And of course, she would have been the one that sent him along,
organised him
along, kicking and screaming, knowing her and him.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly a lot of pride that comes in for the contact for yourself, and she was making me aware of the contact. There was a lot of pride. But she kept talking about this real sense of community as well, and a real sense of pride with that. And obviously, I know what you do. So, yeah, please take this contact, this lovely lady with love. So this is Sally. We can give her a name. This is Sally. Yeah. So the lovely Sally's come through. So that's brilliant. That's
and I have to say that originally you said mum, and there is a reason behind that.
Okay.
Because when she passed, they got the phone book mixed up. They actually rang me and told me that my mother had passed away, and on investigation, we found out that it was actually my grandmother, and they'd rung the wrong Brown. Rung the wrong Brown. So actually, even saying that in itself was evidence, because when she passed, they thought I was her son.
Yeah.
So everything that slips out from spirit has got a reason.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I agree. Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, I can't believe we've overrun as well, Monique, but it's been a fantastic evening. It's been absolutely brilliant. And obviously, thank you to Trevor. It's a great interview, and we love that. And certainly, guys, if you're wondering what to do, you've got 10 minutes or half an hour during your day, listen to one of Trevor's podcasts, because they're really informative, and he's had some great guests on there. And yeah, I think you'll enjoy that, because they're not just about interviewing a medium, they're educational as well, you know, talking about their own experiences and kind of things, sort of pitfalls and stuff to avoid. So yeah, it's worth a listen. Some of them are really good. So yeah, so Monique, are you coming back on camera?
Yes, I'm just looking at the sketch and I can see the resemblance. I definitely can see the resemblance there, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the cheekbones, as you say.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Only when I suck in.
Yeah, I'm printing that out tonight, so I don't forget. I'll print it out.
Thank you.
I'm bringing it over. Hi, Monique. She's back.
Hey, there she is.
That was wonderful. Well done, Monique.
It was. So both our grandmothers came through. Yours and mine.
Strange evening, but
yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much for coming in and taking that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, thank you. It was funny, really, because I sat there and I thought, hang on a minute, he said mother first. Yeah. And that was then, and then I looked at the eyes and the cheeks and thought, it's got to be Sal. Got to be Sal. She would love the fact that she's running around the universe interfering in everybody's lives.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, I mean, you might as well hear. You might as well say goodbye to everyone. We'll all do it together. So thanks everybody for watching, and we will see you again this time next week. Well, not this time, but 8 o'clock next Wednesday.
Absolutely.
And I'll see you in 23 hours.
Absolutely. Bye for now, guys. Take care. Have a good week, everybody. Bye.